Central Asia is a region rich in natural resources. Kazakhstan alone has 3% of the world's oil reserves. But there is one vital natural resource that much of Central Asia lacks: water. Just the thing that humans need to survive. And since water is something crucial for a nation's existence, countries are willing to fight to the death for it, which makes sense when you consider the options that a country has. If I win the war, I ensure my country's existence. If I lose, I will not exist. If I don't go to water at all, I will not exist. There are two main rivers that provide the majority of the region's water. The Amu Darya and Sir Darya rivers provide 90% of the region's water, and 80% of the region's population lives around that area. It flows from both Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan into Uzbekistan, then into Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan. In the Soviet Union, all five of these countries were able to successfully ensure that each country had the resources that they needed. The power-rich Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan would provide energy to the region, and the water-rich countries of Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan provided that oh-so-important H2O. Downstream countries needed water for agriculture, and upstream countries needed energy for the cold winters. Now, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, everything was fine, and nothing went wrong. I'm just kidding, everything was worse. It became more profitable for the energy-rich countries to sell energy to countries like Afghanistan or China, causing the entire system to collapse. Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan began to divert water into hydropower, leading to the mass failure of farms in Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. All of this has led to massive increases in energy and food prices, making water harder to access, which is not good for any of the countries involved, especially Kyrgyzstan. Poor, poor Kyrgyzstan. This all gets worse when you consider climate change. The Amu Darya River is predicted to decrease by a third as a result of climate change, and the Sir Darya is also projected to undergo a substantial decrease. And complete mismanagement has already led to the draining of the Aral Sea, making the situation 100 times worse. Now moving on to a more greater picture perspective. Central Asia is in a weird spot geopolitically, as many of the countries have friendly relations with all three major global powers, Russia, China, and the USA. Up until 1991, Central Asia was under complete Russian-Soviet dominance. And while Russia still maintains a strong grip on the region, Central Asia has undergone massive geopolitical changes in the last 30 years. The great powers also surprisingly share similar interests. They've all agreed that it is in their interest to preserve the region's authoritarian status quo, because after seeing the aftermath of the Iraq War, and especially the Arab Spring, and how Islamic fundamentalism can take advantage of power vacuums, they've agreed not to try to shake things up. Central Asia is also especially important for China because of the crucial role it plays in their Belt and Road Initiative, a long-term geopolitical plan to reshape global trade routes centered around China. China's Silk Road will move right through Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan, and America has attempted to counter increasing Chinese influence, with the Obama administration supporting a $10 billion gas pipeline through Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India, as well as other projects in Afghanistan. No matter what happens, it's important that we don't forget this region of 60 million people. The foreign policy decisions undertaken by our world leaders, many of whom are insane or crazy or just completely stupid, will affect the lives of millions. So we should obviously keep a watchful eye on the stupid decisions they make.